What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about some sleep quality stuff, how to take advantage of basically what is legal steroids. This is going to be something that's a major game changer for you in how you recover and how you perform if you're able to do a good job with it, and really take pride in getting good quality sleep. So we'll hop right into it. Sleep is your biggest weapon. Most guys don't use it to their advantage. They don't put a big emphasis on how they sleep. And because of that, they don't get to their goals as quickly as they want to. Um, and so if you think about it, when I call it legal steroids, think about what steroids is doing for people when they use them, right? Why do people use them? Is it to get bigger, stronger, faster? Yes, but how? Do steroids make your muscles actually grow faster? No, they do not. Do steroids make you move faster? No, they don't. What steroids do is they help you recover faster. That allows you to be able to train harder and train more frequently, train more often, right? And you're able to train at those higher intensities more often. You can go in almost every day and train really hard and get the stimulus for your body and be able to recover and do it again the next day and do it again the next day, where somebody that is natural is not able to do that. But better sleep can help cut down that recovery time and help you recover better. It can supercharge your recovery and your training. But again, most people don't do this properly. They don't take pride in it and they don't understand how it can help them. So, how can you improve your sleep? What are ways you can go about things to get better sleep? There's two ways: increasing the quantity of your sleep and increasing the quality of your sleep. So, if you're looking to increase the quantity of your sleep, the amount of sleep you're getting, typically recommendations say about 8 hours of sleep a night or more. That's what is usually recommended. That's what you've probably heard time and time again. But for elite athletes, if you're really looking to push your body to to the highest capabilities, I recommend at least 9+ hours of sleep per night. That's how you're really going to make sure that you're getting that recovery for your body and your mind, and you're really getting the most out of your training schedule. The second way to improve your sleep is going to be through getting better quality sleep. So that means getting into actually deeper sleep, and getting all the benefits of the time you are allotting to sleeping. And you're going to get a better mental and physical recharge if you get better quality sleep. This is where most people go wrong. Typically, when guys say, "Hey, I need to sleep better," they think, "Okay, maybe I'll just start going to bed an hour earlier, or I'll wake up an hour later and get that extra hour," right? But in reality, that might help, but it's not going to be the entire equation because if you're getting bad quality sleep, it doesn't really matter as much how long you are sleeping for. So, what is quality sleep? There's three basic stages of sleep. There's light sleep, deep sleep, and REM sleep, right? And you can see on this little pie chart that it kind of makes up the entire night. A lot of it is built up of light sleep, and then there's a good chunk that is the REM sleep and a good chunk that is deep sleep. So, what is light sleep, right? Light sleep is going to take up a big chunk of the night, but it's really not super useful when it comes to your recovery. You're going to be in light sleep at the beginning and the end of your sleep cycles, right? So when you first fall asleep, you're going to go into light sleep first before you eventually get into deep sleep and REM sleep. And you're going to come out of deep sleep and REM sleep typically into light sleep before you wake up. So when you wake up in the middle of the night, once you fall back asleep, it's going to be back into light sleep. So the more times you're waking up in the middle of the night, the more percentage of your total sleep is going to end up being that light sleep that, like I said, is not super useful towards your recovery. And one thing to note is that your body is going to wake up and fall back asleep periodically throughout the night without you actually recognizing it. You're not going to remember waking up. But even slight little movements, or noises or things like that can kind of wake your body up and get you out of that useful deep sleep or REM sleep and put you into light sleep. And typically these naps are going to be entirely light sleep as well. If you're just falling asleep in the middle of the day, only getting an hour of sleep, hour and 15, hour and 30, like typically you're not going to get high quality sleep out of that. You might feel a little bit recharged and be able to do something later in the day. I'm an advocate for naps, but understand that's not going to make up for getting poor quality sleep the night before because you're not actually getting quality sleep during those naps. So, when it comes to deep sleep, what is deep sleep? This is when your body is going to recharge. This is super duper important for athletes. Like I've been talking about, you can train super duper hard, but if you don't get deep sleep, it's going to take you a long time to recover from that hard training. You're going to be less likely to be woken up when you're in deep sleep, and you're going to be in there for a little bit of time. And if you're lacking this deep sleep, you're going to start to feel fatigued. You're going to feel tired throughout the day because, again, your body isn't recharging through the night. That's going to happen during the deep sleep stage. So if you're missing out on that, you're not going to recharge and you're going to feel slow. You're going to feel like you're dragging throughout the day. When it comes to pitching, maximizing this deep sleep is going to let you recover between your outings a lot better. You're going to be able to bounce back from a start where you threw 90 pitches, 100 pitches, much better and feel fresh for that next start if you're getting more deep sleep in the nights in between your starts. REM sleep. This one's a little bit more common. People have probably heard about. It stands for rapid eye movement. So your eyes are going to are going to be darting back and forth throughout this sleep stage. And this is where you are going to have your dreams. This stage is where you're having a mental recharge, right? So deep sleep is when your body is more recharging, and REM sleep is when your brain is recharging, right? So again, if you're lacking REM sleep, you're going to feel slow and fatigued mentally. You're going to have brain fog. You're not going to be able to think and have those neurological connections that you typically would have because your brain is moving a little bit slower because it isn't recharging properly. And you might think, okay, so deep sleep's more important to me because it's recharging my body. But think about it, every movement you make with your body starts with a connection from your brain. So, um, there's a lot of athletic movements that are going to be impacted by getting more REM sleep. That's going to be things like command. That's going to be things like sequencing with your mechanics, right? And doing very quick movements and having that mind-muscle connection. And then as far as mental game as well, too, you're going to be more sharp. You're going to be able to compete harder. You're going to be able to be smarter on the field if you are getting more REM sleep and your brain is more recharged. So how can you improve sleep quality? How can you get more deep sleep and REM sleep? Um, there's a few ways, right? But you want, like I talked about before, the quantity, whatever the given quantity is, you want to increase your percentage of time that you're in that REM and deep sleep and have less light sleep. Um, and in order to do that, the most basic way to break it down is three basic pillars: being quiet, dark, and cold. Um, I like to think about this as how we evolved from our ancestors, right? We were cavemen way back in the day. How did they sleep? They slept in quiet environments, dark environments, and cold environments, right? They were in caves. Um, if you're in a bright environment with a bunch of noises going on and it's hot in your room and you're sweaty, like you're not going to get the same quality of sleep as somebody that is sleeping outside in the woods in a tent, right? And that's just kind of our natural human biology. But taking advantage of that in a controlled environment in your room can really, really help you recover better and perform better athletically. So, going into having a quiet environment. Loud environments are going to cause you to randomly wake up. And like I talked about with light sleep, right? Every time you wake up, even if you don't consciously wake up and remember it, you're going into light sleep right afterwards. So, that is going to decrease your overall percentage of deep sleep and REM sleep. If let's say you just got into deep sleep, you've been in there for a few minutes, and then all of a sudden there's a loud bang or somebody next door yelling or something like that, and you wake up, now you are going to be taken out of sleep, put back into light sleep, and you have to go all the way through your light sleep stage before you get back into deep sleep again. Um, so that kind of thing can completely change how you recover that night. Um, so every time there's some sort of loud noise that might kind of wake your body up, you're inching further and further away from deep sleep and REM sleep because you are having to go through light sleep again. Um, if you can't find a quiet environment, maybe you live in an apartment and your window is right next to the freeway and you're always going to be hearing those cars. Maybe you're in an environment where there's a lot of people around and they're always making noise late at night. If that's the case, I highly recommend earplugs or noise canceling headphones with white noise or sleep sounds or something like that so that you're able to fully relax, quiet down everything, and fall asleep and get good sleep. Um, Another part of being quiet is less the actual like audio part and being able to quiet your mind, right? Get a lot of thoughts out of your head, and be able to fully wind down. It's really important to create a wind down routine. Typically, you want to not have screens involved in that, right? So if you're staying up all night on your phone, on video games, watching TV, doing work, things like that, and you go straight from that into sleep, you're not going to get as high quality sleep, especially at the first half of your night. Um, I really recommend meditating. I'll probably make some more videos about that, meditation and visualization and things like that. I think that can be really, really helpful. And doing that right before you go to bed is going to be a really easy way for you to quiet your mind down, um, really wind your body down, get into a relaxed state so that it's ready to go to sleep. Um, as far as being dark, right? This is one that also can be tough depending on your environment. But it's super duper important. I think arguably the most important one here. Um, Even when your eyes are completely closed, there's still going to be some light that gets in, and that's going to affect your sleep when it's getting into your eyes, right? Think about it. If you're right next to an open window, even with your eyes closed, you can see that you're right next to an open window versus if you're in a completely dark room, right? So you're designed to, like I said, sleep in a cave, sleep in a dark environment. That's why we sleep at nighttime, right? It's in our biology to sleep when it's dark. So our eyes are naturally going to close. So we want to keep that environment as dark as we can, right? Those bright lights are going to, again, slightly wake us up and put us into that light sleep. And now we're missing out on our percentage of getting deep sleep and REM sleep, which is the stuff we need to recover. Um, so the best way to do that, obviously, is just darkening the environment, blackout curtains, making sure that there's not sun leaking in through your window, turning off any lights in your room, whether that's a computer, a TV, lamps, string lights, things like that. Making sure the room is as dark as you can possibly get it. And one that's really, really helped for me personally, because I've lived in a couple places where I didn't have curtains that could get all the light out. And I sometimes would get woken up by the sun in the morning, especially if I'm sleeping in. Wearing an eye mask is a major game changer. You might get made fun of by your teammates when you do this on the road, but when you're throwing harder than all of them and you're performing better than them, you're going to see better results. So I think as far as wearing an eye mask, it's something that's super duper important if you can't make your room any darker, and it kind of just forces the light to not get into your eyes, which is super duper important for sleep quality. Okay. As far as being cold, this one also can be tougher if you aren't able to control your thermostat and things depending on your roommates or where you live or things like that. But again, if you think about it, our ancestors growing up in caves didn't have these fancy heating systems. Maybe they had a campfire or whatever, but they weren't ever really sleeping in like hot environments, right? When the sun goes down, everything cools off, and that's when our body is designed to sleep. When we get too warm, again, it's going to wake us up, put us into light sleep, especially if we start getting sweaty and uncomfortable. And that cold room is going to help your body relax and slow everything down. Think about it. When you exercise, you get hotter, you kind of everything, your blood starts pumping. We want to minimize that. We want to get as relaxed as possible. Think about when if you ice your arm, right? That's kind of relaxing everything in your arm and allowing you to slow everything down, slow down the blood flow. And that's what you're trying to do here while you're recovering during your sleep, is getting in a cold room and making sure you're relaxed and cool. Another point too is if you're getting to the point where you're sweaty in your sleep, it can cause you to be more dehydrated. It can cause you to wake up feeling a lot more groggy and behind, right? Where if you're doing a good job with your hydration before you go to sleep, and then you sleep in a cool room and you don't necessarily sweat a lot, you're going to be a little bit, you're still probably going to be dehydrated. Basically, everyone's dehydrated when they wake up, but to a lesser extent, you're not going to have as much room, as much ground to make up in the morning. So, the best ways to track sleep quality, because obviously it's hard to improve something if you don't know whether you sleep well or not. The best ways to track I've heard of are Oura Ring. I haven't personally used this one, but I've heard it has the best data. It's something you can wear all the time. You don't just have to wear it when you sleep. It also tracks your fitness, heart rate, all kinds of things, and does a really good job with the sleep data. Whoop is also good, has pretty good data. A lot of people like to use this one because it gives you a bunch of different metrics as far as sleep scores, the stress on your body from your workouts, your recovery scores. It has a very easy app to use and it's simple. And then one I always used is probably a little bit cheaper than the Oura Ring or the Whoop, is the Fitbit. The data on that isn't necessarily as reliable as the other two, but it's going to be better than nothing. I still notice when I started sleeping better and I was feeling better that my numbers also went up, as far as deep sleep and REM sleep, but it can be a little bit off because of the technology that it uses to track your sleep, but super easy to use. You just wear the watch and the app is super user friendly. So those are the three that I would suggest if you're looking to get into fully working on your recovery and working on sleeping better. I would highly, highly recommend getting one of those and tracking it. So all in all, it's important for you to improve not just the quantity of your sleep, how much sleep you're getting, but also the quality, right? If you're getting a lot of sleep quantity wise, but it's crappy sleep, you're probably not going to recover the same way. And vice versa. If you're getting good sleep, but it's only 4 hours a night, you're probably not still spending quite enough time in those deep and REM sleep stages. So these fixes that I've proposed to you today are pretty easy fixes, and having consistency with those and doing those each and every night, you will see it will supercharge your recovery. You're going to feel way, way better, and you're going to definitely notice the output on the field as well. So, all in all, you're making your sleep environment quiet, dark, and cold. And if you do that, you're going to recover better. It's going to feel like you're on steroids without doing steroids. If you have any questions, let me know. Drop down in the comments anything you might want to see, any other videos. Appreciate you guys. I will catch you in the next one.